Well, I worked at MSCI.
That's my first MSCI. You know how hard it is to write an MSCI joke? Nobody cares. Nobody knows what MSCI is. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at August 22nd Studios featuring analyst Hole Matt Moscardi. Yes, we're graced by his presence.
Yeah, grace is what it would be.
On today's weekly wrap-up, another anti-woke meltdown. They ignore Target, but they pay attention to Cracker Barrel. Another reason not to use Uber.
We needed one?
And this week's guest host on... I have a lot of dumb jokes this week. And this week's guest host on Saturday Night Live, anti-ESG.
Like anti, like you're doing puns now?
I don't know. I call my aunt, so I don't say
Can I
aunt.
ask you, did you fire the staff writer after they came up with those?
Full of horrible jokes. Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFloatAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power connections and performance for free.
I don't know if everybody who's watching the show and or listening
People
to the show
watch?
caught...
Why would you watch?
I mean, you should, but caught that last part. That last part is important. This is the only platform measuring board power connections and performance for free.
It's really the only thing measuring.
I mean, it's the only thing that does that at all, but
yeah,
it's something. We got
Ready?
a lot today. We got to just get right into it, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
No banter, no sound effects. Come on, let's just talk.
You can't. You're not the boss of me.
Oh. I only have 3 stories this week. That's the story of the week. Only 3.
Well, one of them's like 45 pages long.
Let's start with a horrible one. I'm calling this the end of summer anti-woke bro rage brigade.
That's catchy.
I mean, think about what they've done to themselves. First of all, I mean, they love the summer, and first they took away their ability to get drunk on Bud Light because of some weird anger. I don't know. I mean, so they're already sad, and now it's like it's almost fall, and they have to send their kids back to schools, and they hate schools because
they do.
Woke
Yeah, that's true because those are woke. Yeah, those are woke.
So
but do they like pumpkin spice lattes? Do they like pumpkin?
No, pumpkin seems woke. It's orange.
It does feel woke to me,
so
too,
here we go. Here's another one. Here's the headline. New Cracker Barrel logo sparks right-wing backlash from Trump Jr. and more. Now, we were giving a talk this week at, what was it, a seminar, a class?
Yeah, it's a board readiness program. Yeah, like the premier one. If you were interested, Roosevelt Giles runs it. It was great. They're really good.
And at that seminar, we were talking about a company called, I've already forgotten, Country General.
Casey's General Stores.
Casey's General Stores.
Yeah,
which I've never really heard of.
Course,
and now the next big story is about a restaurant that I've never really heard of called Cracker Barrel. I don't even really know what Cracker Barrel is.
There's a Cracker Barrel close by.
Is it like Denny's?
I've never seen anyone there. I don't know what they're. It's
well, that's the funny part of the story is that they haven't been doing well, so they better do something different. But anyway, here's what MAGA. I'm going to read you some of the headlines. MAGA erupts over Cracker Barrel logo change and stock plunges.
Plunges, yeah.
Well, it didn't. I mean, that's never really true, that part of the headline. It doesn't really plunge. It goes down like 8%. In fact, today it's
plungy.
It's up today. So, I don't know. But they're also mad about right-winger. Others call out woke new change to Cracker Barrel's peg game. They're mad. A Christian college is mad. Okay, so I'll try to do this simply. There was kind of like a weird old crusty white dude who was part of the Cracker Barrel logo, and now he's been removed. And I guess that's a woke thing to do. Also, yeah, go ahead. You want to say something?
Well, yeah. I mean, just for point of context, this is not the first time the logo's changed. The logo's changed a couple times in history.
Well, that was actually put on my pop quiz at the end. Is this the original logo? Because everyone's talking about heritage, which we know is like a dog whistle heritage.
Yeah, it's just
for the white
just
South
white people.
Or something.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. I was like, wait. First of all, this chain's only been open since 1969. It's not exactly like an Americana kind of company. And yeah, you're right. It started with a logo without the dude.
It had no dude. It just
that
had the
came
word Cracker Barrel.
that came later.
It actually
So,
came later.
once
This
again,
is actually closer to its roots than the dude was. But the dude's been around since like 1977. And I just all of the elements of this are devoid of facts because like stock plunges. So the stock was trading at $72 at the end of July. They put this logo out like 2 days ago, right? End of July is trading at 72. By the beginning of August, it's trading at 56. So the stock plunged 22%, having nothing to do with the logo. You want to know what happened? They announced no one's going to the stores.
Yeah,
They put out financials that show no one eats there.
What really seemed to happen is a combination of probably, poor food quality, the fact that people aren't going to restaurants, and COVID. COVID really did a number on this business.
Yeah, of course it did.
So
Cracker Barrel, it turns out, ranks below. Have you ever heard of the chain Zaxby's?
No.
Have you heard of Mr. Beast's Burgers?
No.
How about Bojangles?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay,
I've never
so
seen them.
Cracker Barrel
yeah.
ranks below all of them for the number of locations
but
it
has. It is a publicly traded company. It's a company in our database, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I think the key thing that they're going after here, I think subconsciously, is the unusual fact that the CEO is actually a woman.
Yeah, of course.
Can you believe it? Wait, did you hear what I just said? There's actually a company where the CEO is a woman.
Well, but
there's
a backlash. I'm just saying the only reason why there's an of course it is because there's a backlash. There wouldn't be a backlash if there's an old man.
Julie Fels Massino, and the board is also half women. I mean, this is crazy. So I guess women,
it's like the wokest company of all time.
I guess women hate old men in barrels, and
they hate barrels mostly.
There's a lot of weird takes on this. There's one college, Hillsdale College, compared this to people, protesters during the George Floyd protests vandalizing a statue of President George Washington. I don't really get that one. What does that mean?
Do you get any of them? Wait,
no.
Which is the one?
The other one. How about this? Congressman Byron Donalds is angry because he had a religious experience once in the parking lot there.
Yeah, I actually had a few religious experiences.
So I guess he's equating it. He says, "I even gave my life to Christ in their parking lot." So I guess I
did less of that.
I guess he's saying that this is a Christy play. I mean, they're really
just
like
a church
grasping for straw. How about this? The CEO of the media company, The Federalist, he's angry because there's a game they play at Cracker Barrel, and it's less mean now. It's less sarcastic. He's angry about that.
I don't even know what that reference is. I don't know.
Well, I guess there are directions in this peg game, and it makes fun of you if you lose, and now it's not making fun of you as much.
Does Sean Davis know what pegging is? Does he know what pegging is?
He says that it also changed the peg game to make dumb people feel better when they do poorly.
So it doesn't dunk on them.
This is the media company that up until 2017 had a tag in their online that they called Black Crime. That was one of their tags.
Really?
No, I'm serious.
That's an organizational principle?
Black Crime. They would tag things Black Crime if it was perpetrated by a black person in the United States. So this is just more craziness. But, and again, I should go down one more rabbit hole. I know you're already bored of this story.
I love this story because it's so ridiculous.
This is out of FoxBusiness.com. The headline is Steak and Shake slams Cracker Barrel CEO for eliminating old timer from logo. The quote is, "We take pride in our history." Now, first of all, everyone's announcing everything on Twitter, on X for some reason. I don't know why everyone has to make their announcements there. But here's what FoxBusiness.com doesn't tell you is that Steak and Shake is actually owned by a man who was born in Iran. Not that that matters, but,
I get
but
you. I'm with
MAGA Republicans, they don't seem to like outsiders. But his name is Sardar Biglari. He actually owns 9% of Cracker Barrel. And since 2011, 7 times he has tried to run a proxy contest at Cracker Barrel. 4 times he has tried to get himself on the board. He fails every single time. So here's the hidden meaning in some of these. So he's attacking Cracker Barrel,
who won't let him on the board.
And Steak and Shake, here's what's happened at Steak and Shake. He took over Steak and Shake in 2008. He also owns things like First Guard Insurance, some petroleum company, Maxim,
he's a self-styled Warren Buffett, I think. I think that's he liked to call himself.
So he took over Steak and Shake in 2008, but it continues to have problems. It's struggled ever since then. In 2021, even he fired a bunch of he reduced a bunch of staff and made self-serve kiosks instead of actually hiring people to serve them.
That's what old timers did. The old timer on the logo of Cracker Barrel, he loved a good self-styled kiosk.
So my point in all this mess is that it's all a bunch of nonsense. I mean, that's all I can think.
You missed even Robbie Starbuck weighed in on this.
Oh, great!
Did you see Robbie Starbuck?
Robbie Starbuck, who we actually haven't covered. We talk.
We
a lot
asked
about
him on
Robbie
the show.
Starbuck.
I've reached out to him and asked him to
He's
come on.
the so-called citizen journalist. Which my point is that if you didn't actually you don't have a degree in journalism. Everyone's a citizen journalist. Who doesn't have a degree in journalism. Right?
I'm a citizen everything.
I'm a citizen journalist.
I'm a citizen oil driller.
A story we didn't cover is that Meta just hired him to make sure that their AI is not too woke, right?
They paid him a consulting fee to avoid a lawsuit with him because their AI said he was at January 6th, which he should be proud of, but he was angry about because he wasn't at January 6th. And then I don't know. I don't really know the psychology behind it, but they effectively, it's just a payoff.
Yeah, another reason to delete Instagram. But do you have anything more to say about this? Because I'm going to tell you why I picked the Cracker Barrel story.
So I have a couple things.
Go ahead.
First of all, here's Robbie Starbuck's note.
Right.
On X, okay? He wrote, note to restaurant CEOs like Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Fells Messina.
That's one CEO they can name, right?
That's the only CEO they ever name. They only ever name the women, okay, when they're angry at them. People don't want LGBTQ food. They don't want Democrat food.
Mean? I want all that food, but what does that mean?
They don't want Republican food. They just want good food and service, and they don't want to fund values they deeply oppose. Very simple formula. That's what he said, okay? Yeah. But they didn't rebrand the food. They actually
Democrat
changed
food?
the sign,
and
they got rid of a picture of an old man. I want to...
Robbie, this is a company that needs a turnaround. This is a company that hired her to help the company. Bulgari has been waging proxy contests since 2011 because the company is struggling. This is a company that needs to change.
This is my smart data pen, okay? Guest traffic decreased 3.5% in 2023 and 5% in 2024. It is down again this year.
Sounds like
they
Target.
Disclosed in 2023 that 43% of Cracker Barrel customers were 55 or older. Right. This is a chain that is largely built in the Southeast United States, and their customers are literally dying and no one else is going.
Yeah.
And that is a major problem for them.
I'm sure Donald Trump Jr. goes to Cracker Barrel regularly, right? Because he's one of the people that is angry about this.
I actually mapped out how far Mar-a-Lago was to the closest Cracker Barrel. It's like a 15-minute drive.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's not that bad. He probably does go all the time.
Yeah.
But it turns out that they've changed their logo several times after the spread of a rumor in 2015 and then again in 2021 that claimed that when they changed the logo, it used to be like the old timer, whatever, but they changed it so that it was a little harder to tell like what he was doing, and there was this long swooping thing. The claim was that the word cracker was white people, and the swooping line in the logo was a whip, a slave whip.
Ooh,
that was the rumor in 2015 and then 2021.
That was my first thought when I heard of this restaurant, and when I heard cracker, I did think is that like some kind of a play on like a white person from the South? Like what is
All
that?
I'm saying is that both sides have had ridiculous responses to the stupid logo at a place that no one eats. No, like no one goes here.
Not to mention that
Cracker Barrel has 230 million customers per year.
Okay.
Starbucks has 100 million customers per week.
Right.
That's how far the gap is between anyone caring about this and everywhere else.
Not to mention that, rebranding is just a part of everything. I mean, Cracker Barrel, and as I pointed out, it started off with a different logo. It hasn't even been around that long. All right, but let me a few other end of summer anti-woke bro rage brigade moments here.
Bro rage brigade.
I guess they're mad in Ohio. They're mad at Kroger. Go woke, you go broke, because they have LGBTQ plus policies. That's a good old fashioned one. How about this one? Trump, President Trump is calling on Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook to resign. Who's Lisa Cook? You might wonder. She's an American economist. She's the first African American woman and first woman of color to sit on the board. So there you go. That is the target normally, right?
Look, we talked about it's bro rage, and we talked about bro IPOs, bro POs last week. It's the war on women. It's just like the ongoing war on women.
It's the fake meritocracy where they don't release the data to prove their own merit. They don't quantify what is the meritocracy. They just go after people who aren't white, or they yell at female CEOs for changing logos at a struggling restaurant chain.
Where I don't understand.
Yeah.
It.
All right.
The logo is it, and they're claiming this has something to do with diversity. The logo.
Well, okay. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Did you even see the logo? There's nothing like the new logo is just the words. It's a horrible mustard yellow. Is mustard yellow woke? Is that the problem?
They better do something anyway, because that logo might actually turn off half of America. You might be better off just making it neutral. I don't know
anything.
I don't want to go anywhere with an old
about?
dude in a barrel. That doesn't really sound appealing to me. But
angry about everything.
But here's the awkward thing: is that the much bigger, more important American brand in the news is Target. Now, the awkward thing here is that everyone seems to be blaming Target turning its back on DEI for its problems, right?
Yeah. Well,
but they're not weighing in on this. They're not weighing in on this.
First it was woke, and then they flipped because of citizen journalist Robbie Starbuck or something.
But I thought it was go woke, go broke. But Target is suffering because they're not woke.
No, see, this is the nice cloud cover of the political ping pong, which is Target actually overstocked its supplies, could not sell them, was selling at a loss, has had problem with foot traffic for a while, and then they turned their back. Then they were doing Pride stuff, then they got attacked for Pride stuff. They immediately capitulated because they were so afraid. They were already in a bad position. They capitulated, and as soon as they capitulated, the diverse people, including people who work there, were like, screw this. We're never shopping there again. Target not recognizing the fact that most of its customers happen to be cool with them having diversity and pride merchandise, and they didn't care.
Anecdotally, most of their customers were people who didn't want to go to Walmart. They didn't feel comfortable at Walmart for a variety of reasons. In fact, even I told this story also at the seminar that when I decided to get a membership at Costco, I told this story, and they said, we have had several people signing up telling us this is the reason why they're signing up.
Because
they're leaving Target because they don't feel welcome at Target anymore. So, yeah.
So Target did a great job of hurting itself after it mismanaged itself. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So let me get to my second story of the week, and that's Target, because I just thought, it's funny that they're ignoring the Target story, but they're seizing on this stupid logo at Cracker Barrel. But here's what I want to focus on at Target. So the story being that, and I'm calling this Succession Theater, all right? Succession Theater, which is my favorite kind of end of the summer theater.
I love going to a good Succession Theater.
Target CEO Brian Cornell steps down after 11 years as sales continue to drop. Now, I irritated Matt in our pre-production notes because I copy and pasted a huge swath of headlines that come into our Feedly feed. And Matt, I don't know how many are there. Over 100, maybe 150. And I'm going to read you. I'm going to read you
XXUU.
Yeah, I'm going to read some of them. CEO Brian Cornell steps down after 10 years. Brian Cornell will step down. Target CEO to step down. It's just stuff like that.
132 of them. That's how many there are.
But they're all slightly different. But here's my point. Succession theater, right? I have to scroll all the way down in the end, and I want to actually call her out. Jordan Holman. She is a reporter at the New York Times. She is the only one who got this right. The only one. Because her headline reads, "When the CEO retires but won't go away."
Yeah. She going to talk about an executive chair?
Yes, Target is the latest. She says Target is the latest company to keep a replaced CEO around as an executive chairman. Does having two top dogs make sense? And thank you, Jordan, because that's my only point here. Brian Cornell is not leaving Target.
He's not going anywhere.
In fact, he's not even staying just as a chair. He's staying in an executive role as the chair. He still leads the agenda at that board. And the worst part, although I know we disagreed about this last week, is that they're taking an insider. They're taking someone who's worked alongside Brian for over a decade, who's been at the company for 20 years, the COO, to be the new CEO. Nothing's changed.
Of course it hasn't changed.
I mean, maybe this new COO, forgive me, I don't have his name. No, it's Michael Fidelki.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a renegade. Maybe he's a breath of fresh air, which I doubt.
I saw his picture. Definitely a renegade.
But what the hell is changing here? I mean, Brian Cornell's not even gone. And how the hell did 200 headlines miss this? Because I opened the filing at Target. They filed this at the SEC. You have to file all these changes. There's like 3 sentences. And the last sentence is that Brian Cornell is staying on as an executive. So how do you miss this? I don't really understand it. But anyway, that's my second story of the week.
They do a lot of, they gloss over the fact that when you're executive chair, you are paid a salary and bonus from the company.
Usually the same.
Generally larger or the same size as the CEO that comes in.
You're still one of the top 5 named executive officers.
Daddy doesn't go anywhere.
Daddy runs the agenda at the board meetings.
I mean, it'd be like, I mean, it's an
surrounded by 11 years of directors that he has helped to handpick.
And he's failed miserably at the job of understanding Target and its customers, right? Like,
it's nuts. It's nuts.
So that guy doesn't lose his job. He doesn't even resign in disgrace. What are we doing?
Well, but I do give credit to the New York Times. I'm actually surprised that it was the New York Times. They are the only ones to get this right. And finally, the third story of the week is there's a lot of CEO pay stories this week. So I'm gonna cite that. The headline from The Guardian: CEO to worker pay gap. That's the CEO ratio we talk about all the time. Surges to 632 to 1 at U.S.'s lowest paying large firms. So this is a study that looked at the 100 companies in the S&P 500 with the lowest median pay. They say that pay increased there by an average of nearly 35% over 5 years. A few other headlines also this week. FTSE 100, FTSE 100 CEO pay rises for third consecutive year, hitting record high. CEO pay at top U.S. companies accelerates at fastest pace in 4 years. And then I like this other one. Starbucks CEO tops list of sky-high executive pay packages. And then this other headline: Starbucks CEO is ditching a merit system and giving all salaried staff a flat 2% pay raise instead. This guy gets one of the most absurd golden hello pay packages we've ever seen, about almost $100 million. And he was allowed to have a private jet flying him into the office for a while.
Look, I'm glad you brought this up, because
he's giving salaried staff a 2% pay 2% pay
This
raise.
is one of my assholes of the week. This is one of the
fine. So that's my
like
my third story is more good reporting on CEO pay is going bonkers. It's just going bonkers.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they're finally
only
getting
ones
to
paying
keep the pace of
attention, I feel
inflation. They've been underwater for so many years. It's
Those are my
really
three
hard.
stories.
I can't choose
Only
the
three
CEO
this week,
pay
only
one.
three.
I,
Yeah.
I can't choose the CEO
Why?
pay one because it's like an ongoing story. It's been going
What about
forever.
What
like
about Succession Theater at Target? Succession
that
Theater?
one is interesting, but really, the version of the story that you picked out is that the New York Times is the only one that got it right because
Yeah, I like
he's
that.
not going anywhere.
Well, it was a black woman, a reporter. Yeah.
I have to choose Bro Rage, like the Bro PO
End of
and
summer.
Bro Rage. Like
yeah, there's no Bud Light, Bro Rage.
I don't understand the. You guys know, bros run everything. They're like it's less than 12% of the Fortune 500 companies have a female CEO. In many cases, you have like Rosalind Brewer cases where they're the CEO at Walgreens, but not actually because there's an executive chair who owns 12% of the stock. Like there's so many cases. You run everything. What are you so upset about? What are you raging about? Damien just covered the fact that every IPO basically has no women anywhere to be seen. But you're angry? You're angry because of the Cracker Barrel guy?
Matt,
really?
To your point, the top 4 institutional share owners at Cracker Barrel are not the female CEO. They are, in fact, BlackRock, Vanguard Group, the man we just talked about, Sardar Biglari, and Earnest Partners. They control an aggregate 46% of the company. So really, they can weigh in here, and that's not women. Those aren't woke. That's who really owns that company. That's who controls the voting power. I don't know.
About?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to choose that one.
That,
I don't want
that's
to talk
the winner?
That's the story of the week.
Okay.
I don't want to talk
All right,
about anything anymore. Let's do something else. All right. I love the music. I bet you the old timer on the Cracker Barrel logo would like that music.
Yeah, I think
Goodliest of the week.
Although, where is he now, though? That's actually the question. Where does he get retired to? Is there a retired brand logo like Country Home somewhere?
Isn't he eating in a Cracker Barrel waiting to die? Isn't that
getting
what he's
diabetes
doing
or something? Yeah.
What's your goodliest?
I have 2 this week. First, an old-fashioned one that you're going to hate, but I like picking these. Companies with climate targets have more than tripled since 2023, according to a report by the Science Based Targets Initiative.
That sounds self-serving. I don't know. I think it's maybe true. The number of targets that have been set for 2050 has tripled. Does not give me cause for hope.
All right, well, it's good. It's goodishliest. But how about this one? I love this other one. And I'm calling this the goodliest. This is the juxtaposition of these 2 headlines. Okay, ready? First, scientists say they've figured out a way to turn nuclear waste into a powerful fuel. That's pretty impressive.
That's good. That's good. Isn't that
good for you? Good for you, smart scientists.
Good. If only we paid you something now.
But then this second one, scientists cannot figure out why just walking in nature appears to quickly heal your brain rot.
Oh,
I like that they can turn nuclear waste into fuel. But they can't figure out why not
looking at a tree
stuck to your phone is depressing. Like they can't figure out why we're all depressed staring at our screens all the time.
That's good. Maybe they do the research on a screen. I think
what they're saying is take a walk. Go take a walk.
I have 2.
Yeah.
One is your neck of the woods.
Ooh,
you probably heard of this.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of this.
I
Why shop in Maine? The Library of Things has it all.
Yes.
So
I know about this.
Tell me about the Library of Things. I didn't know this existed, but you could take out like an electric lawnmower from the library.
Well, it's not just the library thing. I told you that even in my neighborhood, we share tools, like we share snow blowers and lawnmowers. But there's the city next to me, South Portland. They too have their own. It's a sort of a library where you can go in and get tools. You can get like power tools, pressure washers, that kind of a thing. It's not just this one that you cited. I don't know if it's just a Maine thing.
Is there like a membership cost? I only read the headline because it's goodliest of the week. Like it's just. So to me, this sounds like I would never buy anything if I could go to like a place 3 miles from here.
You have a pretty good tight knit community in your neighborhood. You could start that initiative
What
with
a
tools,
fabulous
at least, right?
idea! Isn't that fabulous?
Because as you know, why does a neighborhood need more than one lawnmower? In fact, it'll cut down on the noise, right? If you only have one.
I know you hate the
electric
lawnmower noise. That's like your. It's like your personal deep hatred.
Well,
of
I don't know.
noise.
When my neighborhood started doing it, I couldn't believe that we hadn't thought of this earlier. It's like,
it's
why,
a great idea.
Why are we all buying these things?
It's a great idea. I might start it here. And the other one I found, and this might be the
like
goodliest of all time.
Yes, I'm voting for this one.
Lyft co-founders depart board, convert Class B shares.
Yeah.
Is this the greatest dictatorship in modern history?
Well, did you look into this? What did they have sunset provisions? Was this codified, or did they just do the right thing?
They agreed to do this 2 years ago. They didn't have it in the provisions initially, right? So this is a company, Lyft. So in case you don't know what happens at these companies, the co-founders of these companies, and this is something we cover all the time, they're fake public companies. The co-founders generally own all the voting power. I think when Lyft actually IPO'd, they owned something like 90 or 85% or 80% of the voting power. They've steadily converted over the years into, and the reason why is because they have B shares and everyone else has A shares, and the B shares had 10 times the voting power of an A share. The co-founders here steadily converted into A shares, and now they're actually stepping off the board. They have 30% of the voting power right now, or as of like a week ago, and now they're going to have, as part of the conversion, 2% of the voting power.
Like, is this an April Fool's joke?
And they are off the board. The founders are not on the board.
What are they? They're obviously business pants fans. Because this is what I preach and scream about. This is what I think should happen to all these companies.
I want to go buy Lyft shares like now, because what a great thing.
Notice over the years that we have given you 17,000 reasons never to use Uber, but we don't dig up those stories about Lyft. We don't find the same controversies at Lyft.
Do you want to know what the market thinks of them getting rid of their B shares?
I'm afraid of this one.
So here's the craziest part.
Yeah.
Capital markets seem to be like there are more dual class shares coming out. We saw 2 that have 1,000 to 1 votes in the last 2 months, right? Like more and more IPOs, they're just doing dual class. There's no rights for shareholders. And the markets have been like, well, I guess it's just what it is now. But when Lyft's co-founders gave up their B shares, there's no more B shares at the company. They reduced from 30% to 2%. The stock in the last day jumped when they announced it, has jumped 5%.
Right.
The market said the company is now more valuable because we have rights.
And because they added an old white man to their logo sitting by a barrel.
That's
actually
true.
helped the stock.
That did help them. It did help them. I love that story. That's my goodliest week.
We're going to cover this more next week because there's I'm sure there's more to say. That's how. I did notice that both John Zimmer and Logan Green, they did graduate college. Could that be part of it?
Oh, did they go to Stanford?
They did not go to Stanford. No.
Wow, maybe that's it. Maybe it's really they got the.
This is just shocking, but this proves.
They finished that ethics class that Zuckerberg could not get to.
To all you bro babies, because part of the reporting, so we've had some good coverage of our bro IPO story this week. Part of what they left out is that a lot of these companies are controlled by dictators and by people who have dual class shares. But here's proof that at Lyft, a very successful company, is that you don't have to do it. It's not a requirement. You don't have to do this.
I know you're worried about whether or not the co-founders of Lyft are going to be okay. Like, how are they going to land on their feet? Their shares are still worth, it's a paltry amount, but it's $144 million.
Oh, that's it?
That's all it's worth. I think they're going to be fine.
So there goes that 18th house in Cape Cod. They have to sell the 18th house.
I mean, they're a little upset that their bunker in Kauai can't be as big as Zuck's bunker in Kauai. Yeah. But
Zuck owns the actual Cape Cod.
Honestly, I want to reach out to them now that they're off the board, they're done, and say, join the show, talk about
Just
like,
take over
you
the
went-
show. No, just take over as hosts. No one wants to hear from us. They can hear from them.
What's the mental process that goes from being a pure dictator to being a basically like, we've done our job. It's like the market can benefit from this. Let's step down. Like, imagine that. Imagine that. It's fabulous. All right. Let's see.
Stop being so happy and bring us down.
I'll bring you down. It's Assholiest of the Week time. All right.
Come on, make us suffer. I'm feeling good after that. Make us
Well,
suffer.
I'm going to start at the last of mine because you already mentioned it. The hollowing out of the corporate middle class, and it's Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Starbucks sets 2% raises for corporate
my favorite
workers.
corporate governance, favorite drug company, Starbucks.
Here's a quote from Brian Niccol, the new-ish CEO. He's going on a year now. CEO
He
of
used to sell
Starbucks.
burritos. Now he sells
A
lattes.
different drug. Yeah. He said, quote, "We need to carefully manage all of our other costs. We need to carefully manage our costs."
Yeah.
Starbucks also said they're going to lay off 1,100 corporate workers early in the year.
Good. Yeah.
In July, they offered buyouts to some workers and said it would step up in-office requirements, like return to office. They were doing 3 days a week in office. Now they're demanding 4. And actually, from May earlier this year, the Starbucks and unionized baristas were in a wage standoff. They still have not agreed after 2 years to wages with baristas. So much so that the National Legal Policy Center filed a shareholder proposal this year demanding a report on the risks of capitulating to the unions. They wanted to know, like Starbucks, how much shareholder value. They actually tried to frame it as a human rights risk, the human rights to the employees who weren't unionized and what the risk was to them. It was great mental gymnastics. And then you juxtapose it with this story. Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol awarded $96 million pay package after 4 months on the job. He had to stay he started in August or September of 2024. He stayed until January, and he guaranteed himself $96 million for that. He also, as part of that package, just as a reminder, got use of the Starbucks aircraft to travel between his home in LA and Starbucks headquarters in Seattle. He got up to $250,000.
I'm sure his kids really needed him around every day.
He got up to $250,000 in personal non-commuting travel per year. They would cover. That's in addition to the aircraft, so he could spend.
Addition, so that's a lot of like magazines and candy for the airplane.
I don't understand what that is. He got a quarter.
Wait, what
million
happened?
In personal non-commuting travel per year.
This is the same guy. This is the same guy who said we need to carefully manage all of our costs.
That's the same guy who said we need to carefully manage all of our costs.
And this is the guy who's been deemed a genius because he sold burritos to a country that is addicted to burritos. I mean, Matt. I mean,
I don't know how he did it.
We're Gen Xers. Americans have been addicted to burritos since at least the 90s. I mean, late 80s, right? I mean, it's like, is that a hard company that Chipotle? That's a difficult sell? Burritos?
Just so we're clear, too.
Coffee? Burritos? This is difficult to sell?
They're not doing well. So yeah, apparently it is.
Yeah.
But
it's expensive now.
The 1,100 people that they said they were going to lay off, if Brian Niccol got paid $96 million and instead of taking it, gave it to the 1,100 workers, they would get $87,000 for the year.
Well,
would you have to lay them off anymore for $87,000 each?
Yeah, but it's not like they have families and tuition and mortgages and all that to pay.
Unbelievable. So the hollowing out of the middle class.
All right, what else you got?
Starbucks number.
So who is the asshole there? Is it Brian Niccol, or is it just the concept of hollowing out the middle class?
Well, I'm going to say Brian Niccol, but I want to focus on a theme there, which is pay attention, because you just covered how CEO pay ratios are going through the roof. The CEO in the bottom 100 S&P 500 firms, the last 100 of them for pay ratios, the ones that pay the most, they averaged, what did you say, 600 and something per. The CEO salary was 600 times the median worker.
It's almost up to that magical. Remember, with a 365 to 1 is like that heinous mark where you make as much on the first day, but they're almost like making twice as much now. Yeah, it's like 600. 650 or something.
It means that on January 1st of
632.
every single year, by your 9 a.m. cruller and coffee, if you're the CEO, you've made as much as your median employee. Meanwhile, everybody is laying off employees saying, like, we're going to replace them with AI. The employee wages are frozen. There's firings. How do we, like, I don't understand where you think your growth is going to come from when no one has jobs anymore except for 7 CEOs. This is like a running theme of the year. And yet we still have bro rage. Like, I don't even understand I don't know how to put it all together because the CEOs are the bros. All right. So here are your other 2 options. You ready?
Yep.
First up, the anti-ESG joke. It's on us, I think, right?
On me and you?
Yeah. I'm going to do a bit of a lengthy thing here.
Yeah.
I want you to just listen carefully because it's going to be boring. Okay? Yep. Here's the legal definition of a fiduciary. I know you wanted that. You were asking for that. A beneficiary is delegated authority to a fiduciary to act on its behalf. It's basically someone with delegated authority over money. They have discretionary powers over those assets. They can make choices.
Okay.
They are in a position superior to the beneficiary due to specialized access, meaning they have more access and knowledge and they don't necessarily have to share it.
Sure.
They don't have to trade knowledge. And they will act in the beneficiary's best interest. Okay, they're supposed to look out for that person. So from Florida 2023, their HB3 Act, in which it's an act relating to government and corporate activism where they, subject to fiduciary standards, we just defined what those are, they actually put into place a law that said when you are investing the assets of any retirement system or plan, only pecuniary factors may be considered, and that you cannot consider non-pecuniary factors, which they said include social, political, or ideological interests. That's the anti-ESG thing.
Which is funny because that's everything the Trump administration does now is push their social, political, or ideological interests on corporate America. It's all that's all the Cracker Barrel story is, really.
So here's the amazing part.
Yeah.
That law, and I only picked them. There are laws in about a dozen states right now that mirror this law. That law applies to, quote, obligations of the United States or obligations guaranteed as to principal and interest by the government of the United States. It turns out that the Treasury securities, this applies to, right? If you are managing Treasury securities. So when I read this headline, I thought, why can't the Treasury be sued now by Florida for violating its anti-woke law?
What's
the headline is White House reportedly launches a scorecard rating of 500 plus companies on Trump loyalty.
So they have their own ESG rating, their own MSCI.
They have their own rating. That rating system evaluates, quote, social media activity, press releases, video testimonials, advertisements, and participation in White House events and other forms of engagement connected to Trump administration and their bills.
Not only do they have their own rating, but it's a rating created by people who are dopes who have no understanding of how to even create these methodologies in the first place. The research is not going to be exhaustive. It's just going to be like a couple of Google searches and, they kind of found this and they jot this down. It's not going to be a systematic approach.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Systematic or not, that's ESG.
Oh, I know.
That is the literal definition of ESG is a data set that is not on a financial statement.
We've said
it's
for
any
years.
Other data.
We've said it for years. All the anti-ESG work is ESG work. They're just realizing how fun it is to do ESG research.
They love ESG research. They really, truly love it. And now they're making a scorecard to determine which companies.
I want to see that scorecard. Can we get that scorecard?
I think we could FOIA it. That'd be great. But
I want to see that. I want to see that. I'm sure
the fascinating part here is if the White House, which controls the Treasury now, and appoints, and Congress, they're controlling the Treasury. If they have a scorecard that has non-pecuniary factors that determines who they're going to do business with, can Florida buy treasuries? Can they work with the Trump? The Trump is actively discriminating against certain companies. He's picking companies against and for, which is the definition of what Texas and Florida and Louisiana and Oklahoma, they all pass laws saying you can't do that. You can't discriminate against our companies. So if the Trump administration doesn't like an oil company because they aren't loyal enough to him, does that mean that Oklahomans can sue the Trump administration and they're not allowed to buy treasuries anymore?
It does mean that, yes, but can we retire this category now for how stupid it is?
It's mind-blowingly dumb.
As we say over and over and over, it's just pure theater. It's just pure.
It's mind-blowingly dumb. No, but I don't want to retire it because I want somebody who actually has some assets. That's not us, right?
Yeah, no.
I want them to look at this and say, why aren't we suing them the same way why aren't we investigating them, suing them the same way they're investigating us? If you literally have a scorecard of companies, you're out there saying like ESG is a social credit system. This is literally a social credit system. This is like they're not even looking to see if the company is good at anything, whether or not they're innovative, whether or not they have employees and they actually take care of their stakeholders and their constituents. No, what they're worried about is, did you say enough times you love Trump's and his bills? That is the definition of a credit system, right? Like, it's a loyalty test. If you've got an actual scorecard on a piece of paper somewhere, that's flat out fucking suable. They're suing you for the same shit. Sue them for it. Somebody, please. I'm begging you. All right, so that's it. That's asshole number one. Asshole number two.
Wait, we're only at one? No, that was two.
That was number two. Asshole number three. And this one's a recurring one.
Yeah.
It's just the free speech dictators.
Go ahead.
Because I just can't get over these assholes.
Go ahead.
Meta spent $27 million protecting Mark Zuckerberg last year, more than any other CEO.
I guess people don't like Mark Zuckerberg because that's a lot of money to protect him.
I know where it's going. It's going to the bunker he says he doesn't have. That's basically a lot of it. Google to pay $36 million in anti-competition fines, another dictatorship.
Sure.
Coinbase CEO says he watched famous speeches to psych himself up before banning politics at the company.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, first of all, nobody knows what he's talking about, because he didn't say which speeches.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of which speeches he watched.
But he did cite Singapore's prime minister.
See, I'm already afraid.
Yeah, responding to labor unrest at Singapore Airlines, and he basically said he had a set of balls.
Well,
also a version like that.
He also said he took inspiration from one of the single most heinous moves against American labor in the 20th century. He said he took inspiration from President Reagan's famous decision in 1981 to fire more than 11,000 striking air traffic controllers. One of the darkest days against American labor. You're not firing people who make burritos. He fired air traffic controllers.
Yeah, which we still don't have enough of to this day.
Yeah,
This
is what he took inspiration from.
And then these headlines: Trump may further redefine U.S. capitalism with an Intel move, because they are talking about taking a 15% stake in Intel. And Trump said, Trump didn't say this, but this is the headline: come to America and lose $1 billion. Trump drives new offshore and wind losses. He does not like windmills. He's been anti-windmill for a long time.
Well, he's
because of birds.
Because he's pro-oil?
He's pro-birds. No, he keeps talking about killing birds.
Yeah,
meanwhile, they're drowning the birds in oil and pollution.
Like
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Come on, stop.
And there was a study out of MSCI. This is what triggered me.
Oh,
shout out to MSCI.
Look at you kissing ass.
The study, it was a blog post. It was called "How Ownership Can Shape Outcomes," that showed that dual-class dictatorship companies actually underperform regular companies, even when you control for other aspects. But we put up with these fucking dictators everywhere.
Well, they
because we
underperform
think we've got
because
FOMO. We're going to miss out. I hate it.
They
so
only
tired of
underperform
it.
because I shout at them all the time. By the way, while we're talking about MSCI, we don't talk a lot about MSCI, and I know you already know this, but we're talking about the anti-ESG movement. Can I just at least laugh out loud that MSCI, they changed their podcast from ESG Now to Sustainability Now? Do you know this? They changed the name.
Yeah,
They can't. They're too afraid of they can't say ESG.
I mean,
This is their version of like quieting down DEI and like not talking about it. And
I think they were worried that
I think it's humorous.
Citizen journalist Robbie Starbuck might take aim at them.
Yeah, I mean sustainability now. That's gonna confuse.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
I don't know what that's about now.
Yeah, well, ESG reeks of like women, and sustainability reeks of what
peat moss.
Bankers. Yeah, I don't even know. All right,
those are your options. Your options are Starbucks in the Halloween.
That was confusing. This is a confusing assholiest this week.
Anti-ESG joke, which we can finally maybe put to rest now that
I'm not picking that one because
and the dictators,
evergreen.
free speech dictators.
Well, what you have here are two very evergreen topics: the anti-ESG world and the free speech dictators. I'm just going to go right to the bottom. I'm going to go right to CEO Brian Niccol because we're talking about CEO pay up at the top of the show. I'm just going to pick that one.
That's good enough for me.
What do you care?
I don't care either. All right, let's finish out the show. Headlines, winners, predictions.
Because the secret subtext of the show, Matt, is that yes, I vote on the assholiest of the week, but clearly what you're saying is that they're all assholes.
Everyone's
really
asshole.
saying.
That's the winner. The real winner
is
all
all
of them.
The whole show is a joke. It's all meaningless. All of our game shows are meaningless. I don't tell anyone. All right, headliniest.
Headlines, winners, predictions. You got headlines?
Yeah, I got two. First, I like this one. Walmart may have sold radioactive shrimp.
Ooh. I never like to read that headline.
Yeah. How about this one? This encapsulates our plight here at Free Flow Analytics the best. This is I just love this. I love that how much of a struggle it is for us to get our ideas and data and research and analytics out there for corporate directors. But how about this headline? 10 candidates will vie for 4 open seats on USA's swimming board of directors.
Wow, that sounds like a real vote.
So even the USA swimming board of directors, I don't know how that is, even they actually have a democracy picking the right candidate for their board. But in our world, you can't even vote no on someone that... in fact, Matt, there are still plurality director voting standards where if they get 1 vote, that's what's considered a re-election. If they just get the most out of everyone up for election, you win because it's an uncontested election. So if you just get 1 vote, you win.
I'm sorry. We covered in Proxy Countdown this year fake incumbents, which were these directors that were put onto boards less than 30 days after the annual meeting. There's no better way to circumvent democracy than to be appointed to the board for effectively the full term day after the annual meeting.
Not only you're appointed to the board, but there's not even a contest. You're not
it's
even
a joke.
Yeah. All right. What do
joke.
You got? What are your
all right. I got 2. First, one that I hated. This is the headline I hated. Forests in certain areas of the world can add to global warming.
Oh.
They're now saying that planting trees may not be the answer.
That? The Trump administration? Who said that?
It was like a peer-reviewed article in Nature. I don't know. I'm a plant a lot of trees guy, and now they're saying like that might make global warming a little worse depending on where it is. I didn't like that headline.
I don't like that either.
And then this one. Silicon Valley talent keeps getting recycled, so this CEO uses a Moneyball approach for uncovering hidden AI geniuses in the new era.
That's ours.
Quote, there's different biases and filters about people's pedigree or where they came from. But if you could truly map all of that and just give credit for some people that maybe went through alternate pathways, then you can truly stack rank. That's what Alex Bates, founder and CEO of AI executive recruiting platform Hello Sky, told Fortune magazine. I was angry because that's us.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
you're
who's
not
your
allowed,
winner?
you're not allowed to be angry during headlinings of the week.
No, I'm not.
My winner is self-serving for our company. Unfortunately, it's we got some good coverage this week. The term "bro IPO" is the winner. Bro IPO,
Ooh.
or should it be bro PO?
All right. Well, that gets into my winner,
Yeah.
and the term is bro PO. That's what it. And
Is it bro PO or not?
It's
Okay,
bro
so I also want to shout out. So first, Fortune covered us, Lila McClellan. We talked about her, and now this another article out of the Times, not the New York Times, but the Times in London.
yeah,
Louisa Clarence Smith, her article called "Welcome to Bro IPO Summer."
yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they're right. They both changed it to Bro IPO. But the only problem with Bro PO, could that be like post office, or maybe it's not? Maybe Bro PO. Maybe you don't know it means IPO.
Well, I think maybe it's too inside baseball, but this is
Right.
why their journalists are better at their job than we are. I mean,
Exactly.
But I
Yeah.
think bro PO is a bro public offering. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but so we're the winners, sort of. I mean, did we?
I know
what do
it's
we
you.
win?
It's just you.
Did we win anything? I don't think
No,
we did.
don't win anything. There's no prize. For
But I just
that.
wanted to plug us.
You won winner of the week is what you won in
Yeah.
our dumb games.
Yeah.
Predictions.
My prediction's really stupid. Target accidentally announces this is they had I guess that Target they have a lot of press releases and they try to decide which one to go out, but they accidentally released one that shouldn't have go out that says that one of Brian Cornell's new board roles will be the chair of the "We Swear It's Not My Idea" task force.
Well, that's good of him to take no
Yeah.
credit for anything.
Yeah.
Now-
Because there's a new CEO and he's not involved.
My prediction that there will be an analytics company somewhere that realizes you can take the Moneyball concept and apply it to people at publicly traded companies. And then you'll make millions of dollars selling that data to investors to give them the ability to vote on their fiduciaries using that advanced data. That's my prediction.
Wait. Okay.
Do you think it'll come true?
Isn't that what we are? Isn't that
Oh
what
yeah,
Free
that's
Float
right.
is?
That's what we do. But except
Yeah.
for the
Do we make
millions of dollars
millions?
part,
Yeah.
that's the only part that didn't
Yeah, I don't know
come
about
true
that.
yet. That's Hazelnut Rollins.
I
I'm
do own a
Anna Soul.
Subaru though. I own a Subaru.
Matt Muscardi, we are Free Float. I have a Chrysler, so
Okay, there you go.
we
Lee
are
Iacocca.
Free Float. Come back next week when we have more shows and more stuff. And if you want data, you go to freefloatanalytics.com. You sign up. It's just an email address. And when you put in that email address, the only email you'll get from us once a week is the Boardroom Zine that covers things that we talk about on shows, cool data points, and it's a punk thing you can hand to your friends. I got one right here. Look, it's a little thing. You can actually fold it up and read it. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen and ever made. You should get one of those. Tune in next week. Until then, goodbye.